Good morning, everyone. My name is Adam Harris, and this is the day ahead for the week finishing Friday, 3rd of August 2018. Now, in terms of economic calendar news, today we do have Non-Farm Payroll at 1:30 p.m. My expectation is that we will see a lot of volatility, so please exercise caution on any pairs crossing with the US dollar. If we then move across and have a look at the currencies, we can see as a result of the US dollar failing to break through that 95 level, the question is today, will it finish through that level today? Or will it reject that level again and then start to move to the downside following through next week? If we move across and have a look at cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin was really bullish, but Litecoin and Ethereum starting to look really weak. So the question is, my expectation certainly is to see us move to the downside. Commodities on the move, on the other hand, certainly with metals and their relationship with the US dollar, my expectation is that they will try and hold where they are, but ultimately if the dollar strengthens, we will see them weaken. A lot of the other commodities that we've covered this week have actually trended on their own. And then if we move on to the global indices as well as the equities in focus, we've seen them finish really strong, and so my expectation is to see the week finish out really nice and bullish and continue through next week. That being said, let's go to the charts. Kicking off with currencies and starting off with the US dollar index. So really today is going to be all about this 95 level. Can we break through it? Are we able to do that? This is a solid candle, not much rejection, but we're really going to have to see. Plus we've got non-farm payroll, so that's either going to push it up or it's going to really mess around with it. So if we're going to have a look at euro dollar pushing right down into these lows. We've had rejections in the past, but we've got a solid candle this time. So this is definitely going to be an interesting one if we ultimately do move on. We've got cable also back down at these lows, at these levels. And again, GBP CAD, while we're on that, continuing to trend really well. Euro CAD, GBP CAD trending really well. And then pound Swissie just following through. Unfortunately, I didn't get that small bearish candle that I was hoping for. It's too big, so unfortunately just going to have to let that one go. And that's really it. So let's just see how that news coming out at 1:30 impacts these markets. With the cryptocurrencies, starting off with Bitcoin, we've just moved all the way back. We've had this really nice uptrend and we've sort of given most of that ground back. Same thing again with Ethereum and Litecoin starting to push down towards fresh lows, just maintaining that bearish overall look. So that's really for now the expectation. That's just the forecast, is we will continue to that side. None of the news today is expected to move this around at all, so this should continue to the downside and we'll see how it reacts to these levels. With the commodities on the move, starting off with gold, we've broken through these recent lows, so that trend should be expected to continue, noting just that we haven't got any fresh lows on the momentum indicators, so we'll see how that goes ultimately. Same thing with silver, we're back in at these previous lows, but looking a lot more committed. So across certain currencies, the majors and minors, as well as these metals, we're looking at seeing a lot of dollar strength. Then having a look at carbon emissions, we've got this bearish candle here. Otherwise, this has been a really nice trender, so some pullbacks into the moving averages should set up some swing trading opportunities next week. Looking at US crude oil, we've got quite a strong finish here. I'd really like to see how we finish up the week if we do finish strong. As I said before, my long-term outlook for the moment is still bullish, and I'm looking to see how we recover from that. The same thing with UK crude oil. Be interesting to see if we can do a push to the upside. Then having a look at London wheat, just noting we have a bit of a rejection there, a little bit of divergence, but overall the quality of this trend looking really good. So unless we're at a key level, my expectation is for that to continue. With sugar, be very nice to get a swing low and have price pull back in here into the previous lows and into that sell zone and produce a small bearish candle for a swing trading opportunity early next week. And then finishing off with New York cocoa, same thing again. I'd love to see a little bit of a swing low here and see price retrace back up into that sell zone and produce a small bearish candle, looking to trade that to the downside. And with our global indices, you can just see we had a strong finish yesterday on Wall Street, looking to see if we can follow through on that strong bullish candle in the buy zone, looking to see if we can break through and finish up with that. Same with the S&P 500, very strong finish here. I need to see this kind of finish push through on that and continue to the upside. Same thing again with the Tech 100 as well. Very strong recovery there as well. No doubt pushed up by Apple. And then just having a look at the UK 100, we're now back at the bottom of this range. So overall, this was the breakout pattern. It looks as though that's pretty much kind of fallen apart. So let's see if we can manage to stay above this level throughout the day. Then looking at Germany 30, we've now dropped down, almost breaking this uptrend. So it's going to be interesting to see if we can hold at these levels here. Again, it's at these points where we can still recover and still hold and then continue on next week. Just Hong Kong as well continuing to push to the downside. So there's no real recovery at this point, but certainly starting to show bullish divergence in there. It's very clear. So that's going to be interesting because that is likely implying a turnaround at some point soon. And Australia 200 now starting to push back down in towards the weekly moving averages. So likely to take a bit of a break. Most of this implying that there's going to be a bit of a delay in terms of the move up in the next stage, most likely mid to late next week. Let's see how today finishes. And then finally, with our equities in focus, looking at Apple continuing to maintain that strength and push through. So that's quite impressive. We've got Rio Tinto. So we've got some mixed results. Rio Tinto pushing to the downside now, broken this, looking a lot more bearish over time. We then move on to Amazon, looking really good. We've got that bullish move to the upside that I was looking for. So that's really nice. I want to see it maintain that. So it's very important today that we get that. We finish strong on the week. Facebook attempting to hold at this 170 level and recover from that, and then break to the upside next week. So that's what that's going to try and do. Okada is now still in the buy zone. It's back in these previous highs. It's lost a bit of its momentum lately, but it still is at a really good place. Small candles, really good place for it to turn around at that point and push upwards. EasyJet breaking through these lows. So that's now looking longer term, much more bearish, certainly from a monthly perspective, looking to come down quite a bit further. So interesting to see how that's ultimately going to go, but that has now shifted pretty much full on bearish. And then Netflix as well, starting to come back up into these moving averages. I want to see if it produces a bearish candle next week and breaks and resumes that downtrend to the downside, or if it comes up and breaks these highs and then picks up from a weekly retracement. Premier Oil also pushing back down into these lows. So again, we've got these mixed results, but we're still at a level of support. We can still turn around at this point, so that's going to be interesting to see. And then finishing off finally on Imperial Brands, still taking another run. That's really nice. I like to see we've got a bullish candle here, so that was a nice idea we pitched yesterday. Let's see if we can break through this level. So you can see a few of them are at levels. Let's see if they can push through. Alternatively, we're going to see a bit of divergence or consolidation over the coming week. So on that note, ladies and gents, be careful out there. Have a fantastic weekend, and I will chat to you on Monday.